And cue the fridge. The fridge has started. Connect streaming going live. We are live. Very good. Coming from you from Rat Cool Studios. We're on air.
You're live, are you?
Yeah. A minute early. But
That's you, isn't it?
what's me? How am I gonna monitor the battery?
I have no idea. Why do you come on with a new drama every week? Every week there's something with you. Don't let drain the battery more.
It will, yeah, but I have to keep an eye on the battery.
It's a pity you can't plug it in while it's there, isn't
no,
it?
HDMI video.
It's a pity you can't plug the battery in while you're using it.
Yeah.
That would be a genius thing
Yeah.
to do.
Oh, Ginger. Good evening. How are you?
That reminds me, I meant to ring my Uncle Michael.
How's the sound, Ginger? I've changed the settings once again, and I still noticed some issues last week, but hopefully we have a crack now. Hopefully we sound as sexy as usual. Jake, The Road to Nowhere. We were listening to him over Christmas, weren't we? What's his name?
We're on the road.
No, what's his
to
name?
nowhere.
Coming home for Christmas. What's his name? Oh, come on.
Chris Rea?
Chris Rea. Yeah.
It's driving home for Christmas.
Loud and clear. I like that. That's very good. Loud and clear. Now, what I've done is I've forgotten to charge the batteries to the camera, so I have half a battery. So this could be a short show. Chris Rea, thank you very much. You're firing on all bullets. You're firing on all cylinders. All bullets.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, having a bit of a.
Yeah, you're having a bit of
I was on a con call. I was on a con call the other day, and I was like, I was getting kind of tongue tied or something like that. I don't know what it was. It was real weird. I thought I was having an embolism or something like that. I don't want to say. Oh, look, no data. Excellent connection. No data. That no data pops up, and then there's no data going to the thing. I noticed it last week when I was.
I know. I said it to you last week, and you told me now it says that's excellent connection.
Yeah, so I didn't know what that meant. But it just means
to be able to see
it just means there's no data. What?
I like to be able to see the comments too. So if you wouldn't mind moving the laptop over a bit.
This way.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Now, welcome. We're on a little bit early because this is basically
the longest day.
The longest week ever. It's like it's on slow, isn't it? It's just on slow motion for all week. So it wasn't the best of weeks. It was a tough old week in the O'Neill household, wasn't it, Faye? So what happened was on Sunday morning. Well, before I tell, Ginger wants to know, you keep him well?
I am, thank you.
So on Sunday morning, we got news that Vanessa's beloved grandmother had passed away suddenly. So that was tough on everybody. So it was a tough week in the house, and we had the funeral on Wednesday. And Vanessa doesn't really want to go into it, so I'm just kind of letting people know she doesn't want to talk about it. It's too upsetting. So, but the downside is there's not the downside. The downside, apart from your grandmother passing away, right? So, is that it's
your week is dragging in on you, is it?
This week has dragged. This week has dragged, like So So are you okay?
Yeah.
And very hard on the boat. I was very fond of her as well, I have to say. She was a kindred spirit to me, and we had some good memories, me and May, hadn't we? So really liked her. She was 86, wasn't it?
86 in May, she would have been, yeah.
86 in May, and she just went like that, boom, just gone. And we were all devastated on Sunday, Monday, and then. But yeah, this week has dragged because of it, and I don't fully know why. Well, I do. It's obviously because of that. But this week has been painfully long.
Hours seem endless.
Just painfully long. kind of glad to see. I'll be glad to see the back of it as a week, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's just weird. Obviously, when anyone dies like that, I think it sort of has an impact on you, where you, it just affects you, doesn't it? I think it just sort of it's at the back of my mind all week. And obviously, then there was Monday and Tuesday and getting ready, and then on Wednesday, and you know, it just doesn't feel. It's all very surreal. It's just tough. Yeah. So, good evening, Mr. Ford. Good evening, Rory. Good evening, David. As no, you know, what can you do? It happens, and 86 is a good age, but I think the thing is, it's just because of COVID. It wasn't COVID related. It's just this. It was just old age got her. But the
well, it was actually an infection.
Well, yeah, but I'd say it was like due to her age.
Well, they said that in the hospital that.
What did they call it?
Sepsis.
Sepsis. Yeah, so sepsis just got her.
She was on tablets that basically were. She'd life-limiting illnesses anyway. But she was on tablets that were keeping her alive. But
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, and because of COVID, we hadn't been spending as much time around her and stuff like that, you know. So
where we would have seen her every day.
Yeah, Vanessa would have seen her every day, and I would have seen her at least weekly anyway. And you know, I just liked her. She kind of in a way, because she was quiet. Well, she seemed quiet to me, and she was kind of reserved, and obviously she would have been different when she was younger. But I just liked her, you know. She's just nice, and we had her up here a few times, and we minded her a few times, and I just liked her, and she was a bit
of crack.
She was a bit of fun as well. Yeah, we used to have the odd pint of Guinness together, and we did a bit of dancing at April's wedding, didn't we? Even though she was in a wheelchair, and I was quite drunk.
She didn't really have a choice, to be fair.
Yeah. So So there you go. Thanks, Ginger. So that's the thing. So it's just sort of, I think it's just sort of set us back this week. But that's why we're probably a little bit deflated because of that. Because I think we were on a high with the pregnancy, weren't we? We were on a kind of bit of a buzz about that, and then I'm gonna have to get him to come off.
Are you on your Wi-Fi?
No, I don't think so.
Nor am I.
It's saying I got excellent connection, but it's timing out. Right, on the Wi-Fi. Okay, it's saying we got excellent connection, but I don't know what's going on.
Will it be the battery on the?
No. You're offline.
Just time to come off it.
Okay, you hold the fort there. People are dropping out because they think we're gone.
Wi-Fi.
Come on back. Come on. I have to restart the whole thing again.
Oh man.
Just gonna be one of those weeks.
It's a week of Mondays, isn't it?
Yeah. It's saying excellent connection.
I know, isn't it bizarre?
Switch back to VM.
Successfully connected.
Can anybody hear us? Obviously everyone's on the broadband tonight, I'd say. Right, I'll turn it off and on, right? Unless, is it connected? Let's see what people are seeing.
No, it's not connected. It'll be showing you there what they were seeing. Oh, it is. It is still good here. They're saying.
Yeah. Live.
We're just not.
Huh?
We're just not getting a stream, is it? Better now.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so that's we're coming. We're I can see that you can see us, but we can't see anything here on our end.
But we can just look at the screen thing there.
Okay, well look.
Right.
Okay, that's well. We'll just kind of crack on then. So where were we? And that's the thing, isn't it? It's just kind of knocked us for 6 then this week. So this week is kind of dragged a little bit. But anyway, so then the bump's coming along well, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So any news on the bump?
It's getting bigger.
It is getting bigger, isn't it?
Yeah. You're
starting to show, as people say. Mm. So what's that all about?
I don't know. I'll have to stay indoors for the next while.
Jason, there's no shame.
Jason told me the other day I was a big fat cow and he was holding me belly.
Well, you said the same thing to me.
Well.
So yeah.
One of us has a reason.
True. Yeah, I'm mad paranoid now because I can't see. But anyway.
You're such a control freak.
And it's just sort of like it's just weird. Anyway.
Yeah, well, get over.
Okay, so the other news is we've made the last payment for the van. I suppose we'll give you an update on the van then. So we've made the last payment on the van. We made it yesterday. So the van is officially ours. We own it, literally warts and all. So there you go.
I'd say syphilis and all with that van.
Syphilis? Speak for yourself. So so we
look at my grey streak the whole way down here.
The van.
And not one of us got that gene from me nanny.
That stress. What about not having? About not having grey hair.
She had like 6 grey hairs in the front, and that was it.
I couldn't believe it that her hair was still the original colour.
She never dyed.
It's just mad, isn't it? Just mad. So let's just see now. Sorry guys now. This is just weird the way this is going on that we just can't see ourselves. Same we're live. See, there's no red light.
The lads can see us, so.
Yeah, okay.
Just keep in touch there on the L chat and
just keep saying we're still here.
And let us know.
Because it's quite distracting.
Because we're actually not able to see anything on the screen.
Oh, stupid ads.
I know, stupid people putting stupid ads on their stupid thing.
Yeah, look. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So the van went in. They took the van in. So the three jobs that need to be done on the van for people who are interested in the van are, and I think are the comments still. No, the comments are still there. So the 3 things that need to be done in the van was they needed to replace the canopy on the pop-up roof. They needed to next week's giveaway to VW. Don't tempt her. So the rollout blind on the A pillar on the passenger side, right? So that needs to be replaced as well because it's been frayed since the day we got it. And then Vanessa wants them to professionally clean the upholstery and Scotch guard it, which they're going to do as well. So they took her on Thursday.
They don't like me.
They don't. Well, no. Well, look, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing, standing your ground with them and everything like that. No, I know. So, and it's not that I care either. It's sort of like I'm just sort of on some level, I'm tired of dealing with them now. You know, we've had so many issues. I'm kind of a little bit fed up with it after 5 years. So I think the thing is that for you to do it, it's a bit of a break for me, and then maybe I can kind of regroup. And then also, like I said, it's kind of like
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, we can kind of so I can keep my powder dry. So obviously, if we need to amp up the trouble, then
the canvas pop up, the actual tent part of the pop up, Rory,
the canopy,
it was pulling away from the roof. So there was a couple of centimeters gap.
Yeah.
Over about 3 inches.
Where in the corner. So when the elevating roof goes up, the canopy's here, say, and in the corner above the passenger side, it's held on with a seal, and the seal had come away. So there was a gap. And the way, again, I'm repeating myself here, so I apologize to people who've heard this before, but what happened was that we were in Italy, and the way the sun was shining on the canopy, there was light actually coming through, and I was like, I thought there was a hole in the canopy. And so I got up when I went outside and checked, and when I lowered the roof slightly, I was able to put the rubber grip back in, but then when you pop the roof back up, it popped back out. Okay, yeah. And it wasn't getting any worse. It was about the same, but it had kind of come away in the corner. And then I went on to the VW forum sometime later, like when we were in Italy, a year ago?
2 years ago.
A year and a half ago. So for a year and a half, and then it was only when we got the rattle in the steering wheel, and then I happened to read on the VW forum that it was a recognised fault in the canopy. And so Vanessa got onto them next. So it was the final straw for Vanessa.
What threw me over the edge was how much it cost us to get the pump fixed that just completely threw me over the edge. When I saw the pump was 25 quid, but the cost of it was like 300 something because of the cost of labour. The pump itself,
was it 140 or something, was it?
No, it was like, it was a lot. Like there was 2 hours labour out of 140 each, as far as I can remember. So it cost us like, it was like 280 or something like that. I have it on an email somewhere.
Oh yeah, 280. That sounds about right. Yeah.
And that just threw me over the edge completely. And I went, no, do you know what? Feck this for a game of horses now.
And then they ransacked the back of the van. So we got the van back then, and the back, so the little wardrobes and the boot and all were basically just up. It looked, to be honest, it looked like someone had burgled the back of the van, right? And so they'd wrecked the back of the van, which is very poor. And I think then that's what kind of Vanessa then, because you had enough of them. It's one thing to be paying a small fortune to get something done, but it's another thing then for them to treat the van the way they did, because again, it's like your home. It's your home from home where, you don't want to, having someone, I don't really like anyone in the van doing anything to it. And these guys are constantly in the van with us. Like, it's always kind of hanging over us. So it just spoils it. It just spoils the fun. If we'd had 5 years and you had the odd issues, but again, she's only coming up on, she's not even 40,000 kilometers on it, so it's
that's what
it's
I said.
brand new.
I said to you, I think we've had it back over to them like 14 times back and forward with it.
So let me see. The canopy or the canvas. So Rory's saying he'd had issues with the new van. Yeah, and So it's just
get them to fix it, Rory.
Just keep on top of them, Rory.
Vanessa sent you.
Just keep on top of them. That's the thing to do. Just kind of keep working with them. But I think so then they rang to say that today that they'd ordered the part that was the A pillar for the roller, but the A pillar had come, and it had come from a standard van. It didn't have a blind in it, so they're going to have it back. But then Vanessa had basically gotten onto them saying, "Have you scotch guard the canvas as well?" So they were going to fix the van out the front of our house to save us going back and forth. But now they're saying they'd have to take the van back to fix the piece over in the workshop, and they're going to have to do the seats because they're saying they have to have the seats and then dry them, and then they scotch guard them. So. Now the only thing I would say for anyone who is, I don't know if the new material on the 6.1 is better, but the 6.1 seating material isn't great, and but that Halford's cleaning product, I did a little video on it, is very good, I have to say, because I wasn't sure, because when I was looking at the seats I was kind of going, did they clean them? Because they're quite clean at the moment. Because
you look after them.
Yeah.
Let us get into them, and it rains. And someone's coat has wet on it.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So big shop windows, as you say. So what happened then was, when I got the van back, and the girl that dropped it over and she headed off, I put the roof up just to make sure, and so I elevated the roof and I had a look at it, and it's fine and it's well fit, and it is the new version, so it has the fully opening front in it. But there's a thing I noticed, anyone in the 6.1, you won't notice this because it's always been there, but the front has a kind of metal bar across it, which wasn't in the 6.1.
No, we had like the strip down the...
That's right. Oh, yeah. So in the 6.1, there's a strip down the middle, that kind of the way it folded around the strip, but the 6.1 has that metal bar at the bottom. It's a slightly different configuration. So I closed it, and but when I pulled back, this is the problem with these guys, right? When I pulled back inside the van, obviously, there's a shutter that you pull back. So when you're raising the roof, you have to pull back the shutter, right? Anyone who owns a California will know what I mean. And when I looked, instead of the nice, neat, folded way that I'd always have it, because basically what it does is as the roof comes down, it folds in and the front collapses like this. And it's very neat. But you have to kind of persuade it in from time to time to keep it neat. And it folds nice and flat. But when I couldn't open the shutter, so I couldn't get the shutter open. And then finally, when I did get it opened, the canvas was all squashed in. That was the thing about it. It was all squashed in. It wasn't done as neat. So anyway, so I popped up the roof, and you could see how ours had all the little lines in it from the way we were so careful with the folding. But this was all wrinkled. Oops, this was all wrinkled, and so it was in anyway. It was fine. And then as I brought the roof back down, I folded the whole thing back in. I shut the roof. And I'm always very careful to check. So this is anyone again who has the van. I'm always careful to check that the canopy doesn't get caught in the scissors or in the front mechanism or anything like that. Now you can get those bungees, but we haven't got one yet. And but people do get the bungees, and I think it takes the headache out of doing that as well. But we don't have one. But what happened was I was looking out the window and I was looking at the van a couple of hours later, and where the front of the van is, I noticed the canvas was sticking out. So the roof had come down, and where it closes, the canvas had made its way. It had basically popped out of the front seal, which I'd never seen in the old canvas. Right?
No,
I've never seen that before. So I was kind of looking at it, and I could see this thing on the top of the van. I was going, "What is that?" And I was going, "It's the canvas has popped out of the front." So I went down, raised the roof, then pulled it right in. So what we have to do is we're going to have to. I think it's either a combination of the fact that it's new and it's not sitting well because it was so creased in the way it was done. So I've pulled it in, and then hopefully then as it gets creased into position, it'll come into position, it'll fold into position, or else it's just one of these things we're just going to have to watch. But at least it's replaced now at this stage, so that's good. So let's see. You saw the state of the court. I did, Rory. Yeah. So they gave Rory a courtesy car.
Was it?
And I don't think they like Rory. I don't think they like him, because if they gave me that car, I'd be kind of going, "What's the story with the car?" It was do you know what it looked like? It looked like someone's trade-in that they gave him.
Probably was.
Yeah.
And they hadn't cleaned it.
No, it was filthy dirty. It was in bits. I think it was all full of hairs and everything like that as well. But their customer service.
Did they pay you to take it?
Their customer service they're professional and stuff, but their
service department lets them down, and they know that over there, because I've had a conversation with someone that works over there, and they have said that their service department lets them down.
Yeah, I don't know why. You see, people go into being mechanics and stuff like that maybe for the wrong reasons. Maybe they're not happy. I don't know. But
you see as well, the guys that are selling the cars love the cars, and they love the high spec, and they love all the bits and pieces about it. The mechanics probably don't. They're just in to do a job, which is
they could be under pressure because you pay by the hour, so there could be a level of pressure there, and there's a kind of like, you're not going to get some mechanic to. And I think the thing what they said was as well is they needed the van for 2 days to do all those jobs, and they kind of ran out. Although they rang me this morning to say the van was done. So
they obviously did the big one yesterday, and then went, because you know yourself, why would you check when you get the thing in 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Why would you check that it's the right thing? Why? Like, of course you'd wait till the day that you're doing it.
I don't know. Well, so look, so that's. I mean, so look, they're gonna have to come back again. They're gonna have to come back again and take the van away, and they'll have it again for another day or so, and if to do all their jobs.
Be a couple of days to do the.
Look, at least the van's getting some use.
At least she's getting past 5k.
Someone's getting to drive it around. But look, the thing is, Rory, I see at the start for me when I got the van first, I was so conscious of damaging it. I put a dent in the door, and Christian opened a bottle of Pepsi over the dash in the front one day, and I nearly had kittens. And there's loads of other things like Vanessa cooking in the van, stinking it out, and I threw something. I put a bag into the van one day and I knocked one of the doors out of the press. So
did you?
Yeah, it just popped out the rail.
You kept that one quiet.
No, I told you. I told you.
Yeah,
no,
I told you. It gets lost in all the other things you've done in it.
So, but then what happens is then the van actually. So you kind of go through this phase of making these mistakes and doing these, and then you kind of they peter out as you kind of get the handle on the van. But then slowly but surely the van issues start to creep up on their own anyway, because of the thing.
Mr. Ford is saying the bungee works well.
Yeah, we'll have to get one of those.
I think so, yeah.
We'll have to get one of those.
That you're not paying for it anymore, you may as well.
Yeah. So financially from now on in, we're going to be a little bit better off. I say that until July, and then it's all back into being broke again.
Yeah, I was looking at the price of nappies today, though. They've come down quite a lot.
Yeah.
2 boxes of like 70 something for 25 quid. They used to be about 20 quid when we were buying them for him.
Yeah, and I think they were coming down then. There was a kind of price war on them or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were obviously just the supermarkets and stuff were just fleecing us. I think people start bringing them down from the north.
From the north, yeah. See, they were buying them in pharmacies from the north.
You see, there's a grey market and all that kind of stuff. People bring in Persil and Bold and Cushell toilet rolls. They bring it all in by the container load from different countries and then they sell it cheaper. So obviously nappies is something. But I think because the supermarkets, see, people go on about milk and sugar in supermarkets, but the other two are beer and nappies. So if you lose the nappy customer, you lose the mother who's doing the family shop and she's gone out the door. So it's important.
So you lose everything.
It's important that they keep the nappies at the right price. And then there's loyalty built into that as well. Same way with beer. And what they do is they get you to come in for your 6-pack of beer, and then while you're there, you pick up X, Y, and Z. So it's very important. Everyone's aware of the milk, bread, sugar, eggs thing, but there are other things in there as well that kind of draw people in, and they're strategically positioned around the shop so that you'll have to go and find them in case you're wondering. So, because if you think of where the beer is in the big Tesco we go to in Naas, it's right at the very end. You have to go all the way through this massive Tesco to get to it. They're very clever. That's what I do for a living. So, yeah. So
shaft people out our money.
No, and you know what? People do think we shaft it, but we don't. It's just part of it.
Well, it's like that's why they put the bread kind of in the door, the fresh bread in the door, isn't it? Well, they used it. It doesn't seem to be a thing anymore.
No, the bakery. If anyone had a bakery and the fresh fruit and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's all the psychology behind getting the shopping and stuff like that. What they want you to do is stay in the shop for as long as possible. The worst customer is the person who comes in with the heads down and the note and the small trolley. You hate those guys.
Me.
Yeah, so you come in with
I don't know.
You don't have a note.
I don't have a note. I remember to forget things.
How are we doing on the battery? 2 bars left still. Okay, so that's that. So a couple of things just to kind of cover off. I watched this movie last week. I have to say, I thought it was very good. I'd say our friend Mr. Stafford would like this one now. Vivarium, was it?
Oh yeah, it was a Mad movie, wasn't it?
Vivarium. And I have to say, let me just see now. I'll just get the name of it up here, right? Vivarium. Absolutely mind-blowingly weird movie, right? Has anyone seen it? Vivarium. I'll put up that's the logo. Hide Vanessa's face there for a sec. Hang on now. Focus.
Okay.
There you go. So see that's the movie, right? I loved it. Now it didn't get great on IMDb. In IMDb it has done.
It was weird.
It got 5.8 from the viewers and 7. Oh no, I give it a 7. 5.8 and 64 from the Metascore from. So Imogen Poots is in it. She's a nice looking girl, and then Jesse Eisenberg is in it. But I tell you, it's brilliantly weird. It's made in Ireland as well. Actually, it was really weird. It's made in Ireland. It was really weird to see an Irish registration plate, wasn't it? But it's so strange. But what it is, it's a commentary on. If you listen to so I had to go off and do research on it. It's a commentary on the director Lorcan Finnegan. I mean, you couldn't get more of a. His name was Paddy Murphy, isn't it? So it was a commentary on during 2008 when there was all these ghost estates, and basically, in a nutshell, what he's saying is that we're in such a rush to buy a house that what we do then is that we're under this mad pressure to buy a house, and we're kind of fooled into it somehow. We're suckered into it, and then what you do then is you spend the rest of your life paying it off, and then you basically pop your clogs and you're gone. And his whole question is why. Now, I know it's not that simple, right?
It's about those ghost towns as well, though, wasn't it?
Well, that's what prompted him. But I have to say, if I'd recommend watch it, but it is brilliantly strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Prepare yourself for strange, but it is good because even I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. I have to say, I did really enjoy it. Let's see, we're getting in. Let me see now.
Hard and fast are coming in now.
So on my Vauxhall van, didn't put the restraining pin back on the brake caliper. Oh, shattered the engine cover. Shocking. My T6 one came with odd rear headrests. One leather, one fabric. 4 months to sort out. They took the wrong part twice. Yeah. I just see.
How, like?
You get more for the pound than the punt. You get more. You get more for the pound than the punt.
Yeah, because we pay VRT on all our cars.
Oh,
or yeah, about nappies and stuff like that.
I'm not sure, but yeah, but also because it's just threw me there for a second because I was thinking we haven't had the punt since 2002, isn't it? But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, your money does go further.
Yeah, you get an awful lot more for the pound now.
your money goes further in the UK, is my understanding. But I think the standard of living here, like the pay in Ireland, is higher now. But it has to be because it's so expensive to live here. But then when you have a population of 4 or 5 million people, and you know, so it's an expensive country to live in because there's so few of us. But the good old Catholics are working on that, and we're bringing in Polish and Brazilian, and there's a lot of love there, and there's a lot of you know, not just Polish and Brazilian. We're bringing a lot of people from the African continent as well, isn't there? So there's a bit of and there's kids everywhere, and they're opening up schools left, right, and centre. So we'll be 6 million. We'll be 6 million. And the other thing as well, that what's good about all this immigration into Ireland is from a kind of sports perspective, is that it's really mixing up the gene pool, isn't it? So it's going to be quite interesting to see where we go, because obviously a lot of Irish talent goes into Gaelic football and hurling and stuff like that as well. That if we didn't have those, we'd probably have them playing football and rugby. So it's going to be interesting. But you can see a lot of the new Irish, as they call, go into playing Gaelic. There was that guy we were watching him being interviewed by Tommy Tiernan. So anyone, if you're watching, Tommy Tiernan is a great interview. Okay, so let's have
Saturday
a look.
night, isn't it? That's all.
Andy Bike Vids. Hi, love the videos. Thanks, Andy. I don't think you've commented before. We are buying a 6.1 and looking forward to the family time. Look forward to the family time you enjoy. Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah. Now, putting the complaints about the quality and the issues aside, it is brilliant.
Yeah.
Having a camper van is fantastic, isn't it? You know, the excitement of getting a new 6.1 though is mind blowing. But it is great.
I'd blow your mind, all right, Jay, if you even mentioned it.
I'm over it now, and I do it. And the thing about it as well, I'm glad we didn't go back in, especially seeing as you got pregnant.
No, when I got myself knocked up.
No, yeah, no. So we'll be back into debt. Although kids aren't that expensive to raise, are they?
Not
Christian wasn't that expensive, was he?
No.
Not really. You know, he wasn't. He doesn't eat a whole lot. He's starting to eat a lot now, though, isn't he? He's starting to pick up in his appetite. He's 11 now, and he's going to probably start taking a bit of a stretch.
Oh my God. Every time I look at him, he's like, can I have? Yeah. Will you make me? Can I get this? Can I just have?
Yeah. Permanently his head in the fridge, yeah. So look, Andy Bike Vids. I'm assuming you have a channel, Andy, with a name like that. It must be about bikes, I'm presuming.
It's not about the village bike.
So do you know what? I saw something very sad today. T6 Cali, yeah. We love ours too. And now that we've paid for it, it feels slightly different. I always felt when I was paying for it, wasn't quite ours. So anyway, I want to swap our T5 on for a C61 purely for the new dashboard.
Just put a new dashboard in.
Yeah. Some of the new gadgets are fantastic, but I think some of the trade-offs are not. I think things like the footrest apparently is a bit of a headache. But I think you can buy one. And what's the other thing? There's a few other bits and pieces.
New gadgets. Few trade-offs. All that means is new complaints.
True, but don't say that to people. That's not nice. The men don't want to hear that.
I don't care.
The men don't want to hear that. The dashboard.
You can't handle the truth.
The dashboard never going to fail. So so I was watching a very sad thing today. There's this couple in the States, and they were heading to they're a camper van channel, right? I can't remember that. It's the first time I've ever watched them, so YouTube prompted me with it today. And lovely couple, right? Really, really nice couple. and they were heading to Mexico. So I think the title of the video, if you want to look it up, if you enter into YouTube, ripped off or conned. I think it's conned in Mexico, right? Okay. So basically what happened was this lovely couple, and they're heading across the border, and they were stopped by the border patrol. Now they think coming up to they're nervous about making the journey anyway, right? Because they've heard it's kind of sketchy getting through the border, and they're worried about the various crime issues in Mexico and so on. So you're kind of going, relax, you know. So, but what happened was the minute they got across the border, they were stopped, and so they have a couple of cameras. So they had 2 cameras recording everything, right? One in the front and one inside their camper van. And then the door opens, the door flies open, and in hops the custom guy, and he's in, and they're armed like and stuff.
Should they not stop them previous to going across the border?
What do you mean? No, they were coming in. They were coming through the border patrol. Oh. So what happened then was he said, "Do you have anything on board?" So he's saying in Spanish. And she speaks Spanish, right? So the two of them, so they've subtitles. So she's saying, so your man's saying, do you have anything on board, anything illegal, blah, blah, blah? Because, you know, it's very serious, blah, you know, that's what he's saying. So he's scaring them. So the two of them are kind of worried. And then he was saying, you know, so he said, do you have any cannabis on board? And they're like going, no, we've no cannabis. He goes, so you've no cannabis? And he goes, okay. So he's radioing, get the dogs, bring the dogs in now. So he said, I'm going to bring in the dogs, and the dogs are going to search the van. And if they find anything in the van at all, it's going to be like $1,000 fine, and you're going to have to go to prison. So he's scaring them to death, right? So he says, do you have anything on board?
The amount of drugs that get out of the country.
Well, what he's doing is he's doing a shakedown, right? So he's shaking her down. And I was like, oh my God, that would be totally me. I'd be totally caught off guard by something like that now. I was like going, oh, that is shocking. So they said, no, we don't. All we have is, we've nothing at all. And then she's like going, oh, wait a minute. She said, I have, what's the name of the oil that they get? CBD, right? So she said, I have something that was shampoo.
It's a legal substance.
Shampoo and cream, right? That's what she had. She had little bottles of cream and bits and pieces. She said, that's all I have. And your man says, that's illegal. You can't, there's cannabis in it and stuff, right?
It's not legal.
So, yeah, but he's rushing them. So then she's basically translating back to the other guy that it's going to be $1,000 fine, and he's going, what, and everything like that. So he's going, look, do you have anything else on board? And then they're going, no. And he goes, okay, what I'll do for you this one time, he said,
give me $500 and you can go.
$500.
I just said,
and
get the rest of the cops.
That's what he did. He took $500 and he said, and he's like, dump that stuff, dump it real quick, get rid of that stuff real quick. You can cancel the dogs, don't bring the dogs down. Such a scam. So they gave him $500. So then he got out and he copped the camera on the front, right? So then he was saying to them, is that on? Are you recording me? And they were going. So she's like, a terrible liar, right? I would say nothing, you'd lie. You'd be like, no. I'd be like, eh. So he said, delete that now. Delete what's on the camera. That's why you can only see it from one camera's perspective. And then they were going, it's deleted. And then he insisted that they hand the camera over. So you're thinking, if this was completely legit,
he wouldn't be worried.
Yeah, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be worried at all, right? No. So, but because he rushed him, you see, it's a bum rush. Like that's what it is. It's a bum's rush. So he rushed him into panicking, and they gave him the money, but then they had it recorded on the other camera. So I don't know what I don't know what came of it, because something else come up and I stopped watching it. But what happened was, no sooner had they gotten outside than they were stopped by a traffic cop for a seatbelt violation.
Oh my God.
And they were hit for a 500 peso fine. So I don't know what 500 pesos is worth, right? Probably 50 quid or something like that. But they were hit, and I just felt so sorry for them. You know, you're just a sitting duck going through. And obviously, if you're not experienced, these guys are completely kind of roll you over. Like, you know, it happens everywhere. But it's worth watching, and I think there's a lesson in it. You know, there's a lesson in it. So that's very sad. And yeah, so there you go.
Sick, wouldn't you?
Let's see, what's they say? I want, my mate just bought a new 6.1, 75 gram with loads of extras, very expensive. Yeah.
That's sterling.
Yeah, £75,000. Yeah. Wow. They are dear. They are dear.
It's not worth it.
They are dear.
There are some places you could buy a house for that.
They are. Well, you know, you could get a conversion and fit it out and so on and so forth. But
they look better.
They do, but then, you know, there's trade-offs to everything. I don't know why the Californias are so expensive. It's obviously just
the VW brand.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, like anything like that, if you buy a Merc or anything like that, they're also very expensive. Also, they're all up. We're down to one bar.
Well, we're down close.
We're down to one bar. So. Okay, so
no Aaron this evening.
No Aaron. No, we were watching Aaron there earlier today. He's getting along with his. He's working away in his ambulance, and he's doing the business.
Ambulance.
He's doing his ambulance. Yeah, he's working away. So that's the next project. Get an ambulance. No, I'm not good at that kind of stuff. So what else? What else did you want to talk about? I have something to talk about on one of my lists.
You always have something to talk about.
Do you have something to talk about?
I have nothing to talk about.
Are you tired?
Yeah, even though I had a 3-hour nap today.
Did you want to tell people about what it's like to be pregnant and all that kind of stuff?
I'm sure they all know.
All the men?
I'm sure they have significant others that know. They've heard it all before. The last thing they want to...
Bit of an assumption, but...
The last thing they want to do was listen to me moaning about me heartburn and me...
No.
Swelling belly.
But it's a mad feeling though, isn't it? Is it a mad feeling for you though?
I like being pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being pregnant.
Yeah. Why?
Well, you're never alone.
Well, you're never alone anyway with COVID.
Yeah, no.
With us, but yeah, you're never alone.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you think that's weird, don't you? That's something growing inside somebody.
See, the thing is, I know. Look, and I'd say it's more me than anything, right? But to me, it just feels odd that the thoughts of something growing inside you. But I know that's weird, right? But it's just when you think about it, there's a human being growing inside you.
Yeah. Well, how else is?
No, I know that. Yeah. I know biology a little bit, right? I studied it in college.
Well, I hope you do,
but it's just
how we ended up this way.
It's just if I was lying in bed and the thoughts of somebody lying inside me, like the closest thing a man will get is one of those kind of absorbed twins, So those things.
A poo baby.
Not a poo baby. But yeah, no, but it is, and also I think the thing is, men can't relate to it. We've nothing to. It's so alien to us on some level. Now I'm overthinking this. I know I'm way overthinking this now, right? But I just think it's amazing that, when you think about it, there's a person like Christian come out of you. You know what I mean?
You felt a little kick and all the other night, didn't you?
Yeah, I could feel a little fluttering. All right, yeah, it is amazing, amazing and weird at the same time. Yeah. Anyway,
it'd be more amazing when you start seeing elbows and toes and feet and everything.
Yeah, do you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of when you see that we had a cat years ago, and I remember she was heavily pregnant, and I remember I was petting her one day, and she was all bumpy, and the next thing I was looking at her belly was all over the place, and I was going, "This is gross. This is disgusting." And then 5 minutes later, she had them.
You're so supportive.
Yeah, no, it's just weird. It's fantastic. It's fair ball to you. Well done.
Thanks.
It's a complete surprise. But yeah. So Andy had. Do we regret buying the van? I can say 100% no. No, I don't regret buying it at all.
There have been moments when I have absolutely regretted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we were sitting in Germany in the lashings of rain.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll
when I was listening to Joey, he was moaning about the heat down in Italy.
I think look, if I was a complete noob to camping. So I was on a mad steep learning curve and driving around in an incredibly expensive vehicle that I was super paranoid about damaging and stuff like that. And then you have to kind of figure out how to camp in it. And that's a nightmare. And then I had regrets because I was kind of thinking, oh, this thing's just a big great white elephant or whatever it is. This thing is a nightmare because it's not great for camping in. But really, you kind of have to adjust to camping.
We were bringing too much stuff with us, though.
Yeah.
On short trips, especially, we were bringing way too much stuff with us.
Absolutely. So,
and then we found that we actually prefer to probably wild camp a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to kind of get our nerve up to start wild camping and things like that as well. And that kind of suits us because, for me, kind of going to campsites is brilliant. It has its place. But I often feel it's kind of like I'm a bit trapped or something, and I don't like it. And especially... It's full of people, and it's just all. I just prefer
I think that's
camp.
Probably why we done a lot of our traveling kind of spring and winter and autumn. We didn't do a whole lot of traveling in it over the last fall. Well, I know over last year, but previous years to that, we didn't do a whole lot of going on weekends during the summer in it.
Yeah,
we actually did do an awful lot and much quieter, so as that the campsites and that. I mean, we were in a couple of campsites over the year, one in Wexford and then one somewhere else. I can't remember what it was. in Downings, and we were literally the only.
Well, I don't see the seasons wouldn't affect us. We're not summer campers. It's a sort of like all year round thing with us as well, I think. But we'd also, I'd say, Andy, we'd also come from hotels and the convenience. We'd never experienced
hot shower.
Well, the convenience of a hotel and the mod cons, the pub, all that was gone, and then you had then you had the showers in the campsites and stuff. So there's a huge adjustment mentally. But if you're brought up camping, I don't think so. So no, I don't regret it, but I think there is a steep learning curve, and I think also now that we own it, it's going to start. So when you compare it staying on a campsite or wild camping in comparison to a hotel, it's going to be so much cheaper. But I think we have our decision is if we go away for 2 weeks. So we're thinking next year, this year, whatever, right? This year, next year, whatever we can get done. We're thinking of going to Cornwall and Devon because it's the baby. It's easy to get to. You want to see Wales again. You want to go to Barry Island. I want to see Cornwall and Devon, especially Cornwall, because we didn't see it properly the last time. Because one of the first places we camped in, and my head was, as we say in Ireland, bugled by trying to get my head around camping. We didn't know what we were doing. We pulled in. The motorway was closed. And we got there late. We parked in we didn't know what the protocol or the etiquette was around camping, because we pulled into some site and your man said the next morning, well, that's not your site. We had to move, and then like you said, we had a ton of stuff with us, didn't we?
Yeah.
We just too much stuff. So camp, keep it light.
We brought Jack with us, and he had a suitcase with him.
Yeah. Like it was just see. I think in your mind,
and
you
all
think
the shoes. Shoes, God love him.
Yeah,
he didn't know either. So he was as green as we were.
He knew less than we did. But I think in your mind, you think the van is huge, but it's not. It's quite a tight, enclosed space. So you have to kind of scale down and shrink down to fit that space. That's the best advice I'd give anyone. Is you need to scale everything down and go light and bring the bare minimum with you. And then you see the van as a jumping off point into everything else. And that's the thing for me. So when I go somewhere, we park the van, we set it up and we're gone, and then we come back and it's really for somewhere to eat, sleep, and then we're gone. Although my happiest moments in the van are when we get back in the evening, we turn on the music, we pop up the roof, the heat's on, Vanessa's cooked something to eat, I'm having a beer, we're all reading or talking or playing a game. I am the happiest person then. That's when I'm super, super happy. And that's when I love the van at its best. Or when we go to somewhere like Glendalough and we park up and you see everyone coming in their cars and coming and going. Like if I had a camera on it and sped it up, you'd see all this kind of cars and we're just sitting there moving in slow motion because we're just sitting there able to eat and take it all in and there's no rush. And
a few comments after coming in.
With the porta potty, that's the other thing to get as well. So you have to have the porta potty for the little lady. Otherwise it gets quite awkward because the man can obviously go anywhere. Okay, so that's the thing. Hi, I'm late again. We'll watch later. Hope please keep entertaining us. We certainly will, Neil. And it's nice to know that we're entertaining you because this entertains us, and the comments is very entertaining, isn't it? And I like doing this. So thank you. It's easy to get carried away with the dream and don't want to be disappointed with reality. I think getting Vanessa's opinion is good for my wife. You're absolutely right. The less you take, the easier it is to enjoy. I couldn't stress that. I've
actually found bringing my sports gear with me is the best thing for me because it's comfortable.
Sports clothing, yeah.
Because it's like your leggings and your tops and stuff like that. It's comfortable. You can layer up. Yeah. You can layer down if you need to. They dry quickly if they get wet. Yeah. You know, all stuff like that, and then they just don't take up loads of space. But we came up with the idea of the boxes this year, didn't we? Which was so handy.
Yeah, what we'll do is the next day we do a video with maybe... Well, actually, do you know what? I'm going to do the 5-year video when we can get out. And what we'll do is I think I did it. So if you look at the 4-year video, did we have the boxes then? I think we might have.
No, because we only got them in the summer.
I think I had boxes in the fridge though. I did because I remember showing people the lid because there weren't boxes in the fridge. So what we'll do is we'll do the 5-year video and we'll explain all the bits and pieces again. It's a great video. It takes about 10 hours to watch. 10 hours to watch and 20 hours to make. So but you do like the van though, don't you? Just in relation to Andy's point there, you do enjoy it.
I suppose for me it was a culture shock as well. I got very, very fed up with all the times it went back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, because it was so inconvenient. And I just thought, we're after paying so much money.
Well, yeah, but I was just going to say, leaving the mistake, or leaving those aside, the actual camping.
Yeah, no, so now I'm explaining to why I would kind of get a bit...
I'm sorry, Vanessa.
Why I would get a bit fed up, but like, obviously I don't love it the way you love it either. I see it as like a little kind of thing that we do, you know, somewhere else for me to cook. But a new kitchen.
See, I pull up and I go, how about going in here for eat? And you're going, really? I brought all that food. That's every time. You do that. Every time we pull up somewhere, I go, look at that place. We'll go in, have something to eat, and you're like, I'm at to fill in the fridge full of stuff.
Yeah, because you did tell me to buy loads of food. Remember the day I didn't buy any food?
Yeah, but I don't know those restaurants.
And you end up having to survive on.
Well,
do you remember that?
There was nearly a divorce that day, and that's not fair. That's making me out to be a dick. We were doing a marathon. I was doing a marathon.
All I said was you had to survive.
I was doing a marathon. I was doing a marathon in Dingle. Vanessa was doing a half marathon, and we were super, super fit at that stage, right? So a half marathon was nothing. I would run a half marathon training when I was running marathons, right? I'd go out and do. I'd say to V, I'm going to go out and do 16k because that's the perfect distance for me, 10 mile. And then I'd say I'd be back late, and she'd go, "What did you do?" And I go, "I did 25." Anyway, Vanessa, I said I was looking forward to eating something back in the van, and Vanessa said, "Yeah, I brought oatmeal or something like that."
No, so we have to go to the shops.
That was it. Oh yeah, was it?
We had to go to shops to buy stuff, and you were like, "Why? What's in the van?" And I said, "Oh, what's it called?"
I don't know. Oatmeal. Nothing.
No.
Thin air.
Porridge.
That's oatmeal.
All right. Yeah. No, I know, but I knew there was another name in it.
Okay.
And I said, all I have is porridge for the breakfast.
Yeah.
And you were like, fine, I'll survive.
Yeah. I had a hissy fit. I did. I had a hissy fit. I don't have them anymore. But I was stressed. I had a big marathon the next day, and I couldn't believe that because that's like and I remember the analogy I used. You were going, well, we went to past how many shops, and you could have gone in and got the food. And I was going, V, I filled the tank with diesel. If we ran out of diesel halfway down the motorway, and I'd be like, oh, I forgot to put diesel in the engine or in the tank, you'd say, well, that's your responsibility. You always put diesel in the thing. You always fill the fridge with stuff.
I know.
Right? So for us to arrive and you say, I've nothing, it was like me arriving saying there's no diesel. Or I'd gotten somewhere where there's no diesel. I know,
but I learned my lesson. Have I ever done that again?
No.
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 But I still have that story to tell.
I was a bit stressed. I had a marathon to run the next day.
I know.
Anyway.
And then we ended up going and getting fish and chips.
Yeah, and a few pints. So, okay. So look, so the thing is, that's the thing. The van will cause arguments, right? It does.
And for those wondering, we found a super value. We went and we bought pasta, and we had a lovely dinner.
Yeah. So the battery's running low.
Right. Well, we'll wrap up anyway because it's 53 minutes.
All right. So I'll just read the last of the comment, but it does cause rows.
So, yes,
it does cause rows, but they're never life threatening.
Andy, I do like the van. It's awkward. You have to kind of. You have to leave your, I suppose, your
modesty.
Yeah.
Modesty at home. Okay, before we get cut out then, right? So, the less you take, you better. Our favorite campsite have been Devon and Cork. Loved it, yeah. So absolutely, totally looking forward to going back there. Keep talking. I'm thinking I'm on holiday. Very good. I confirmed the porta potty comment. MC says just absolutely get a porta potty. The Tetford 640. It's a cube thing anyway. It fits in a certain space, but you'll know if you go onto the forum or anything, or I have a video on it, you'll see it. Fantastic. You have to have one of those now that we use it.
We've been to the Lake District professional moochers.
We have, and it was lovely.
It was lovely. I wasn't mad about the campsite, but I think if I was to go back now, I'd have a different opinion on it.
Yeah. You were just thrown by the foresty piece, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there was a lot of stoners around.
Well, that's the campsite we went to, and the guy was in our spot, and he was drunk and everything. Yeah. So that's the thing. But the Lake District is lovely. But we made a bit of a. Again, that was our first trip, wasn't it?
No, we never camped before we got to Cali. Rory.
Aaron.
Evening, Aaron. Good night, Aaron. I hope you're getting on all right with your van.
But yeah, no, we'd never. I think I'd camped in a tent once.
I hadn't.
Yeah, so we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Again, there's
a whole. Very much a hotel girl.
But there's a whole story about the van, how we saw it. Andy Peters on Good Morning Britain, and I was like, when I was watching the telly, I was getting that kind of, that kind of was getting off like it was you know, that kind of that effect they use, that you're kind of looking at something fantastic.
Dreaming.
Yeah. So and
more when you got it, it was more like
yeah.
Than,
but what it was like a nightmare. But what I'd say is probably next week, because I will charge the batteries next week. I'm getting a low message warning there. If you do have any questions, Andy, or anyone has any questions about the van, let us know, because it is like a part of the family. It's like having a dog.
Send questions on, and we've no problem answering them because we're 5 years into it now, and I'll be honest. Yeah. I'll be brutally honest. That's my problem, actually, isn't it?
I'm honest as well, but I think I try and strike a balance.
Yeah, where I just
But there is a huge learning curve. About 3 years of a learning curve for me, anyway. And now that we bring nothing with it.
Yeah.
Someone complained one time on the channel saying, because we were talking about the 6.1. I don't mean complained in a bad way. They were saying, you're missing the point. You don't need a 6.1. It's the memories and the experience of the van. So it could be a 5 or 4.
And I think that's true.
Yeah. Now, at the time, I didn't. I was like, oh, no, part of it is the kind of...
Because we bought the dream with the van.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yes. But I think in the last year or so, once I kind of made that mental adjustment, I was kind of going, oh, yeah, you know.
Right, anyway, we'll wrap it up there before the end.
Right, so chaps, we'll say goodbye.
I think I ends up eating porridge for supper.
I know, I was so annoyed that day. But I was stressed. I had a big run the next day.
Shut up. And
just because you were doing a half, you didn't care.
Oh, well, I'd have survived on porridge anyway, because it doesn't bother me. I just eat for survival.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. Probably too late. Let me just check. Probably too late. People are probably gone by now, are they? Could someone do me a favor? So, if you look here, hide your face again. If you look, and focus. Come on, focus. I can see your face, can I? Focus. See the 199 subscribers. So if one person can subscribe, that would be fine. I know you guys probably all have subbed, right? So there's no point in me saying this to you. I'm not saying this to you, but if anyone is...
Get your wives to do it.
If anyone... Yeah, but don't sub and unsub, please, because it drives me mad, right? So if one person can get somebody to subscribe to the channel just to take us to 2,000. If I can get to 2010, then I'll be comfortable, because it tends to ebb and flow.
Do you know you're not supposed to make eye contact with anyone when you're eating a banana?
Yeah. Well, eating a banana, look at the trouble I got you into. So
I didn't get into trouble from eating it.
So I know. So that's the thing. I know. Yeah, good man, new subscriber, well done, because we got a few this week, so that's brilliant. So do me a favor and don't unsub, at least till I get to about 2020.
Please, for me,
because it ebbs and flows back. It ebbs and flows back and forth. And it's quite irritating. And
professional moocher's wife has gone to sub now.
Thank you. Good man, professional moocher. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted. That's enough, because it can get me started on a rant about the channel, and then I'm gone. Okay, we're definitely going now. So say your goodbyes, Vanessa.
Goodbye and thank you.
I don't know if we're going to be able to do a podcast, because I don't know whether that's recorded or not. But anyway, we'll find out. What am I doing? Okay, so I'm gonna